Today on Rappler. Some 3,900 youth aged 12 to 17 got COVID-19 as schools resumed face-to-face classes. Philippine inflation rate soars to 7.7%, the highest in nearly 14 years. The Sandiganbayan dismisses a forfeiture case against the properties of the late Chief Justice Renato Corona. A Marcos vlogger group seeking Malacanang accreditation disbands. Famous glaciers like Dolomites and Yosemite will disappear by 2050 due to global warming. Netflix renews Neil Gaiman's The Sandman for a second season. And beauty queens Fabiola, Valentín, and Mariana Varela tie the knot. The Department of Health reports some 3,900 youth aged 12 to 17 got infected with COVID-19 from September to November, which marks the return of Philippine schools to face-to-face classes. But DOH officer in charge Maria Rosario Vergere says the recorded cases remained mild.
Pero sa tingin ko, hindi yan dapat maging balakid para patuloy na magkaroon ng full implementation ng face-to-face classes.
Meantime, Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte reminds the teaching and non-teaching staff of DepEd to avoid relationships, interaction, and communication, including following students on social media that are outside school setting. DepEd recently released an order on professionalism practices. Reports of teachers allegedly sexually abusing students made headlines after students came forward. The Philippines' inflation rate spikes to 7.7% in October, the highest in nearly 14 years. National statistician Dennis Mapa says it is the highest since December 2008's 7.8%, when the world suffered a financial crisis. The latest figure tops the 6.9% posted last September. The inflation rate of food and beverages accelerates to 9.4% in October from 7.4% in September. As a result of factors like Russia's invasion of Ukraine, disrupted global supply chains, and the impact of recent storms. Mapa says there is a high probability that October's 7.7% is not yet the peak, given recent storms pushing up food prices. A Pulse Asia survey showed 42% of Filipinos disapprove of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s performance in curbing inflation. The AntiGraft Court dismisses the government's petition to forfeit the properties of the late former Supreme Court Chief Justice Renato Corona and his wife Cristina. The Office of the Ombudsman filed a 130.59 million peso forfeiture case against Corona and his wife in 2014. The petition was based on Republic Act 1379, or the law declaring forfeiture of any property found to have been unlawfully acquired by any public officer or employee. The AntiGraft Court's decision dismisses the petition on grounds that two elements needed to be proven in the forfeiture law were in contention, and acknowledges the Coronas have other sources of funds that contributed to their income. Corona was convicted of culpable violation of the 1987 Constitution and betrayal of public trust in May 2012, after failing to disclose around $2.4 million and 80 million pesos in bank deposits in his statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth. A pro-Marcos vlogger reveals the United Vloggers and Influencers of the Philippines, or UVIP, are disbanding on bad terms. UVIP was formed with the purpose of gaining access to Malacanang. Blackbird, who has over 100,000 followers, posts a YouTube video demanding answers from UVIP's president Jarrett Pulido or Coach Jarrett on YouTube. Blackbird says Pulido had stepped down but left members like her confused as to why. Worse, the group lost the person they most counted on to open the doors for them in Malacanang, Trixie Cruz Angeles, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s short-lived press secretary. Former UVIP members say they were invested because each had to pay 3,500 pesos to get into the group. A UNESCO report says some of the world's most famous glaciers, like the Dolomites in Italy, the Yosemite and Yellowstone parks in the United States, and Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, are set to disappear by 2050 due to global warming. UNESCO says glaciers in one-third of World Heritage sites will disappear by 2050, regardless of the applied climate scenario. About 50% of these could almost entirely disappear by 2100. UNESCO Director General Audrey Azoulay says only a rapid reduction in our CO2 emissions levels can save the glaciers. She adds the UN's COP27 climate conference will have a crucial role to help find solutions to this issue. UNESCO recommends making glaciers a focus of policy and implementing disaster risk reduction measures. The dream continues. Netflix announces fantasy drama series The Sandman is renewed for a second season. Author Neil Gaiman tweets about the news and says, "The rumors are true." Netflix also shares Gaiman's statement, saying, "There are some astonishing stories waiting for Morpheus and the rest of them." Details on the second season's plot, cast, or release date have yet to be disclosed. The Sandman is a 75-issue dark fantasy comic book series by Neil Gaiman that follows Morpheus, the Lord of Dreams, and the Endless, a powerful group of immortal siblings who represent universal concepts. The Netflix adaptation, which premiered in August, sees Tom Sturridge as Dream. Beauty queens Fabiola Valentín and Mariana Varela tie the knot. Fabiola and Mariana represented Puerto Rico and Argentina respectively in the Miss Grand International 2020 pageant. Valentín posts a video compilation of their moments as a couple on Instagram, announcing their relationship after keeping it private. According to her post, they got married on October 28. Fellow beauty queens congratulate the couple, including Miss Grand Philippines 2020 to 2021, Samantha Bernardo, who writes, "Congratulations, sisters. Love, love, love." Both Valentín and Varela made it to the top 10 of Miss Grand International 2020 competition. And that's today's wrap. I'm Giselle Barrientos. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.